And an Alabama LGBTQ group is vowing to not stop fighting after a Pride event was forced out of a city. Up in Prattville, Alabama, Prattville Pride was preparing for their second annual festival this weekend, but they expressed disappointment when they were told the event could not take place inside city limits. The group was left scrambling to book another nearby venue, and the event taking place near Maxwell Air Force Base up in Montgomery. Now, this is not the first time Prattville Pride has run into issues with the city.
Dale Jackson here for Yellowhammer Now, and that story you just heard was about Prattville Pride being told, take this somewhere else. We've had just about enough of this. There's a lot of complaints about this, and they're complaining, how dare you, we've done this before, right? And people are generally sick of it. And it's not just regular citizens, it's not just voters, as the Trump election will tell you, but it's also corporate America. Yes, corporate America has had enough, because they don't want to be the next Bud Light.
The pleasure of Pride pushed aside this year by many companies, with corporate sponsors signaling reserve. Pride organizers dismayed.
The corporate model no longer is sustainable in the political climate that we live in today.
That's in St. Louis, seeing major changes this year. While in New York, NYC Pride saying it's dealing with a budget shortfall of more than $750,000 due to dips in corporate sponsorships. A new survey of more than 200 executives by a risk management research firm shows nearly 40% plan to pull back on how they engage with Pride this year. Why? More than 60% say they fear backlash from the Trump administration and its actions against diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts by companies.
Our country will be woke no longer.
Some also fear falling prey to conservative activists and customers becoming the next Bud Light. The company getting slammed after its 2023 partnership with trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney.
A can with my face on it.
It led to boycotts from figures like Kid Rock.
Bud Light.
Sending sales and shares plummeting in the months that followed.
Now, I've said on my radio program and here numerous times that if you wanted to actually have events that highlight your community, you should do just that. Your community is not BDSM and rainbows and all sorts of other nonsense that is not appropriate for children. Not that rainbows are not inappropriate for children, but the way it's used is a little bit weird. That's not really what you should be doing. You should have two doctors wearing lab coats, holding hands and walking down the street, because that's real life. Instead, we get this cartoon stereotype, almost satirical version of what being LGBTQ is all about. And you know what? People don't want their kids to see this, and they don't want to see it. But that's what a lot of these events have turned into. I'm not going to say a lot about this next clip. I'm just going to put it up. You read it, you watch it, you draw your own conclusions. So ask yourself, is that really something to be prideful of? Well, the answer to that is obviously no. So you should probably stop doing that stuff. But you know what else you should stop doing? Stop pretending that all criticism is some sort of vicious attack. And don't use Donald Trump as some sort of sign that you're under assault, because you're not under assault in any way, shape, or form. In fact, this clip that I'm about to play you shows Donald Trump saying, look, you have a right to exist and do what you want to do. And they flip that around and pretend that now they're somehow physically unsafe.
But the cultural shift going beyond just Pride. You see here the 14-point drop from Republicans in just 4 years in supporting same-sex marriage, the lowest level of acceptance for the party since 2016, when then candidate Trump said this after the Pulse nightclub shooting.
I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens from the violence and oppression of a hateful foreign ideology.
But with corporate money drying up, security is on the minds of Pride organizers.
Do you have more concerns about safety and security this year?
Absolutely.
The National Pride Network that connects groups around the country telling us there are fewer and smaller events because less money means less safety, security, and accessibility.
Now, if you want to be disingenuous, you can be disingenuous. But for most people, and I'll speak for myself and almost everyone I know, I really don't care what you do. When it starts infringing on me and starts setting a bad example for my children and my society, well, then I have a little bit of a problem with it, and I get a right to say so. And saying so is not an assault on you. It's not trying to erase you or keep you from existing. It's me saying enough is enough. And apparently you still haven't received that message. Live your life the way you want to, but when you start infringing on others, that's when people are going to push back.